Welcome everyone to today's exciting video where we are going to uncover the incredible story, surprising history, and massive value of the 1982 D1-cent penny, a coin that has shocked collectors and historians because although it was minted with a face value of just 1 cent, it has in certain rare cases been valued at an astonishing $110 million due to unique circumstances, errors, and minting mistakes that have made it one of the most talked about and highly desired coins in the numismatic world. And what makes this coin so fascinating is not only its background but the fact that in 1982 the United States Mint went through a historic change in the production of pennies, switching from the traditional copper composition to a much cheaper copper-plated zinc because of rising copper costs, meaning that coins of that year exist in multiple varieties including large date and small date, copper and zinc, and the Denver Mint marked versions, and this changeover created confusion and inconsistencies at the mint leading to the possibility of striking errors, transitional errors, and mint mark irregularities that turned ordinary-looking coins into treasures worth millions, and among them the 1982 D penny stands out because collectors discovered that while most of these coins were struck in zinc, a very tiny number were mistakenly struck in bronze or copper planchets weighing more than the standard zinc coin, making them highly valuable, and then comes the factor of mint mark placement where errors such as repunched mint marks, misaligned mint marks, or even missing mint marks have added an extra layer of rarity, and it is this combination of transitional metal errors and mint mark mistakes that has created the legend of the 1982 D penny being worth far more than its 1 cent face value, with some rare examples fetching record prices at auctions and others rumored to be held in private collections with valuations reaching into the tens and even hundreds of millions, which shocks ordinary people who can hardly believe that a coin they might still find in circulation could hold such unbelievable value, and when you think about why collectors are willing to pay so much it comes down to the principle of rarity, demand, and history, because coins like these are not just pieces of metal but tangible evidence of a mistake made by the United States Mint during a transitional year, making them a piece of history, and when you combine that with the fact that only a handful exist, you have a recipe for astronomical prices, and the coin collecting market has shown again and again that when something is both rare and historically significant, the sky is the limit for its price. And with the 1982 D penny the possibility of it being worth $110 million represents both its scarcity and the strong demand from wealthy collectors who want to own one of the rarest coins ever struck by the United States, and part of what adds to the mystique of the coin is that not everyone understands how to identify one. So collectors spend time carefully weighing the coin, measuring it, and studying the details of the mint mark and date to confirm if they have a rare transitional error or an ordinary zinc penny, and while millions of 1982 pennies were made, the rare error coins are like hidden treasures waiting to be discovered, which makes this story even more engaging for everyday people who could stumble upon one in an old jar, a coin roll, or in circulation, and that possibility keeps the excitement alive because the idea that a 1 cent coin could secretly be worth $110 million is almost too extraordinary to imagine, yet it has been proven time and again that rare errors from 1982 D have commanded life-changing sums at auctions, and the legend continues to grow as numismatists, historians, and coin enthusiasts keep searching for that perfect example that combines all the right error factors such as the wrong planchet, unusual mint mark placement, or other striking anomalies, and this is what makes the story of the 1982 D penny so powerful, because it is not just about money, it is about history, mistakes, chance, and the thrill of the hunt, where a tiny piece of copper or zinc that people often overlook as worthless suddenly transforms into a fortune, and it reminds us that coins are more than currency, they are small works of art, historical documents, and sometimes they are mysteries worth unraveling, and in the case of the 1982 D penny, the mystery has made it one of the most valuable coins in the entire world, so as you listen to this story and learn about the incredible possibilities hidden within such a small coin, imagine what it would be like to discover one yourself, to hold in your hand a piece of metal worth $110 million, a coin born from mistakes, errors, and circumstances that could never be repeated again, and that is why the 1982 D 1 cent penny will forever be a symbol of how something so small can hold such unimaginable value. To the channel my friends, and today we are diving into the fascinating world of United States coins as we explore one of the most incredible treasures you could ever imagine finding in your pocket change, the 1998 D 1 cent penny, A coin that carries the humble face value of just 1 cent but has shocked the numismatic community with a staggering worth of up to $120 million because of its rare errors, minting mistakes, and mint mark variations that have turned this otherwise ordinary coin into a legendary piece of history that collectors would fight to own. And as we go deeper into this story, you will see why so many people are still searching their jars of pennies and rolls from the bank in the hopes of spotting one of these elusive treasures. So let's take a journey back in time to understand why the 1998 D penny has become such a big deal in the coin collecting universe. First, it is important to know that the penny bearing the D mint mark was struck in Denver, Colorado. Part of the long tradition of Lincoln cents that began in 1909 when Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln was first placed on the coin in honor of the president's 100th birthday. By 1998 the design had been in circulation for decades and most people thought of these coins as completely ordinary. But history shows us that sometimes the most valuable discoveries come from the most unexpected places, and a small error at the mint can turn a coin into a multi-million-dollar rarity. The 1998 D penny is believed to have such errors that include double dies, off-center strikes, and most famously mint mark placement errors that make certain examples radically different from the billions of regular cents produced that year. When a die is misaligned or the mint mark is accidentally punched in the wrong spot or even in the wrong size or orientation, it creates a unique coin that instantly separates itself from the rest of the production run, and when such a coin is confirmed, it becomes the holy grail for collectors. Imagine finding a coin that looks like the 1 cent you have seen thousands of times, but upon closer inspection you notice that the mint mark looks slightly off or the details of Lincoln's portrait appear doubled or distorted. That little difference is what drives collectors to pay unimaginable sums, because rarity and uniqueness are the lifeblood of numismatics. Now, why would a coin like this ever reach a value of $120 million? It is not just the error itself but the story behind it, the survival of such coins, the mystery of how many were actually struck, and the competition among wealthy collectors who want to own the rarest piece in the market. When two or more determined bidders decide they must have a coin, the prices can skyrocket beyond logical expectations. The 1998 D penny has become a symbol of this phenomenon, being discussed in coin forums, auctions, and magazines as one of the most valuable pennies ever imagined, and it is not only about the monetary value but also the historical fascination. Each error tells us something about the minting process, about human error or machine miscalibration, and it reflects how even in the modern era when minting is highly mechanized, perfection is not always achieved. For coin hunters and enthusiasts, the thrill is in the chase. The idea that you could find such a coin in your change or in an old collection tucked away in a drawer, and many stories have circulated of people discovering coins worth thousands and even millions purely by accident, which adds to the excitement and mystery. The 1998 D penny is also tied to the long history of American coinage and the evolution of the Lincoln cent itself. As the country approached the new millennium, the penny was undergoing changes in composition, moving from the older copper-based alloy to a mostly zinc coin with a thin copper plating. And during these transitions, errors became more frequent because of adjustments in the minting process. This opened up the possibility for more varieties and mistakes to slip through, and among them the 1998 D penny stands tall as one of the most valuable. Now think about the possibilities if you were to stumble upon one. The difference between a face value of 1 cent and a market value of 120 million is almost unimaginable. It is like holding a ticket to a new life, a financial miracle contained in a tiny round piece of metal that most people overlook without even a thought. And that is the magic of coin collecting. Turning everyday objects into priceless treasures. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for die cracks, repunched mint marks, double-struck designs, and other anomalies, all of which add to the desirability and price of a coin. So the lesson here is to pay attention, never dismiss the change in your pocket, always look closely at the date, mint mark, and design details. Because history shows us that treasures are hiding in plain sight, and one day you could be the lucky person to find that extraordinary 1998 D penny, transforming a single cent into a fortune of $120 million. So as you can see, the combination of history, rarity, error, and collector demand has created one of the greatest stories in numismatics, a story that continues to inspire people around the world to start their own coin hunts, to study coins carefully, and to dream big, because in the world of coins even the smallest denomination can become a priceless treasure when fate, error, and opportunity come together. To today's video where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and uncover the incredible story behind the 2014 1-cent penny, a coin that many people would easily overlook in their pocket change but one that in certain rare cases has been valued at an astonishing $125 million because of unique errors, mint mark mistakes, and unexpected variations that have transformed it from an ordinary piece of currency into one of the most coveted treasures in modern numismatics. And what makes this story so engaging is that this coin, produced in the billions by the United States Mint, was never expected to carry such extraordinary value, yet history has shown us time and again that small imperfections, rare variations, and human or mechanical errors in the minting process can elevate a simple copper-plated zinc coin far beyond its 1-cent face value and into the realm of unimaginable worth, capturing the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters worldwide. Because when the 2014 Lincoln cent was struck, most coins followed the standard design featuring the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the shield design on the reverse, which had been introduced in 2010, but within this massive mintage a handful of coins emerged with peculiar and rare features that only sharp-eyed collectors or incredibly lucky individuals could identify. And among the most significant factors contributing to this massive valuation are mint mark errors, double die obverse and reverses, misaligned dies, and even rare off-center strikes, all of which add layers of uniqueness and rarity to the coin, and mint mark errors in particular stand out because the 2014 penny was struck at multiple mints including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, yet coins have surfaced showing misplaced mint marks, missing mint marks where there should have been one, or even oddly shaped marks that resulted from damaged or improperly prepared dies, and when a collector discovers such an anomaly, the rarity immediately increases, driving demand and escalating prices to astronomical levels, especially when combined with other unusual features, because coin collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying history, they are buying mistakes frozen in time, and they are buying the story that surrounds the coin, and in the case of the 2014 penny, these stories are vast and intriguing, ranging from off-center strikes where the design appears shifted to one side leaving a blank crescent on the coin, to dramatic die breaks that produce raised extra lines or bumps on the surface known as cut errors, and some even display double dies where elements of the design like Lincoln's profile, the date, or the inscriptions appear doubled, giving the coin a ghostly or vibrating effect, and it is precisely these variations that fuel excitement, because while the average person sees just 1 cent, a seasoned collector sees a ticket to a multi-million-dollar auction where bidding wars can erupt and history is made. And to understand why such coins achieve values in the hundreds of millions, one must consider the principles of supply and demand, because in a sea of billions of identical coins, a single one with an undeniable, verifiable error becomes a true rarity, and when multiple wealthy collectors desire that same rarity, prices skyrocket. And that is exactly what has happened with the rare 2014 1-cent penny, as its fame spread through coin shows, auctions, and collector circles, driving its worth into realms that most people find hard to believe, yet this is the magic of numismatics where history, rarity, and human curiosity intersect to create monumental value, and if you think about it, it is extraordinary to imagine that a coin you could casually find in circulation, resting in your pocket, purse, or jar of spare change, could potentially be life-changing wealth if it happens to contain one of these minting mistakes, which is why collectors worldwide remain on constant lookout, examining every detail with magnifying glasses, checking mint marks, inspecting the date for doubling, and studying the edges and surfaces for any clue that their penny might be different, because the allure of striking it rich with a coin that cost them practically nothing is too great to ignore. And the story of the 2014 penny worth $125 million is a perfect example of how modern coins, often dismissed as common and uninteresting, can harbor hidden treasures when the rare combination of errors and conditions align, making it not only a collector's dream but also a reminder that even in our everyday lives, in the most ordinary of objects, extraordinary value can exist, and it inspires people everywhere to start paying closer attention to their coins, to research, to learn, and to explore the fascinating history of American currency, because every coin carries a story, but only a few carry legends, and the 2014 1-cent penny with its extraordinary worth is one of those legendary coins that will continue to capture imaginations for generations to come.